no Ray Nobodies, no Kyle Ron fans, no Daddy Butcher fans of any kind. We don't do that here. And remember, the Wookiee bartender's 20%. I am your cast coordinator, your scoundrel scheduler, your Wookiee wrangler, and I'm here to deal more truth. I was listening to Overlord DVD, Doomcock, and he did the exposition on basically He-Man and how bad it was. Now, I haven't seen it. I don't intend to. I've heard enough to know that it's not the show my nephew would watch when I'd be babysitting him, or any of my nephews, actually. It is not the show that I saw, back in those days. I was in high school. I would go in. He'd be waiting. He'd be there. We'd sit down. He'd get out his toys and play. And I'd turn on the TV and say, well, He-Man's on. So he'd sit down and watch it, 3:30. And I'd be, waiting for it to get over and either attempting to do homework or waiting for something so I could turn on MTV or G.I. Joe or something I like to watch. Anyway, so what I heard, and I heard it's basically heartbreak. A lot of people. And on Overlord DVD, one of the panelists said that it wasn't like what happened to Luke and Han. I beg to differ. It's exactly like what happened to Luke and Han. First episode, Skeletor, within the first 5 minutes, apparently, Skeletor stabs Prince Adam. The show's supposed to be about him? Apparently not. Okay. Then at the last episode of this part, the fifth part of this, He-Man comes back and Skeletor kills him again. Of course, he's just stabbed, somebody said. First off, the diminishing of the male characters is exactly what happened in Star Wars. You can deny that, say, well, it's just a cartoon, it's for little boys. Star Wars was too. I was 9 when it came out. The boys all loved it, but everybody loved it. He-Man is the kind of thing that, just like Star Wars, that dads now want to watch with their kids and they can't do it because it's garbage. Okay, so that's wrong right there. They've turned Adam into an outright pussy. Okay. And they basically turned the show into angry, genderless, used to be female centered show. What'd they do with Han? First off, they have him estranged from Leia for absolutely, even in the canon that they put together, there's absolutely no reason for any of this to be going on. Why? No reason. Their excuses are always, hey, hard work. And that's great. The excuses are, well, this always happens and we really don't know, and it's, they don't explain it. Hey, they don't explain what happened, why this would happen. Okay. If you're sitting there and you're watching episodes 4 through 6 of Star Wars, and that it's supposed to be a fairy tale, happy endings, and all the rest of that stuff, which is what George Lucas wanted to do, which is why he didn't like killing off characters. He didn't want that. You would know that Han and Leia are supposed to be together, and for the rest of the time, they're meant to be together. Okay, so we get episode 7. There's never been an explanation of what happened. blame what happened on Ben, or that, or Han and Leia were selfish parents. Let me explain how this goes. When you go through the shit that they went through together, to be together, you think that's going to stop them from being together? You think the little things? Because let me explain something what a happy ending is. A happy ending is the beginning of the next phase. And everything they went through to get to that happy ending prepared them for the next phase. Okay? My mom and dad got through the Depression. Depression is over literally when Japan bombs Pearl Harbor. It didn't end when Roosevelt came in on his white horse. They got married. Dad came home from the war, one of the lucky ones. He already had a son, my oldest brother, Bill. They had 8 more kids. They were married 51 years. Let me explain. Dad coming home at the end of the war was a happy ending for them. And a lot of people didn't have that happy ending. I think, what was it? 450,000 American boys never came home. And then add the people who were maimed and wounded to that number. Okay? A lot of people didn't have happy endings all over the world. They had to pick up the pieces and go on. But Mom and Dad's happy ending, all the shit they went through. Grandpa losing the farm. My grandparents on my dad's side losing the house. Not being able to find a job. Having to leave school as a sophomore because the family didn't have enough money. Okay. That was a struggle. You want to know what poor is? That's fucking poor. All right? Get through World War II. Get home. Kids start coming. You think that was easy? No. You got 9 little personalities that are going every which way. You've got to put food on the table. You got to pay the mortgage. You got electric, heat, a car payment, all the rest of that shit. Everything Mom and Dad went through, which was bad, made them strong enough to get through the next 51 years. And when my dad died, my mom lived, another 20 years. And then she passed away in 2012. 19 years. Well, he passed in October of 93. Mom died in October of 2012, so 19 years. Okay. Life isn't easy. It's not a happy ending. But when you look at the struggles that they went through as young people, and you think it's nice looking out the window of your airplane and seeing a B-24 with 10 men in it going down in flames and having some Germans shooting at you. They're literally at times as far away from you in airplanes. You think that's fun? All right, it's not. But that shit made everything, the rest of it, hell of a lot easier to go through because they knew what they were built for. And you honestly think I'm supposed to believe Han and Leia are acted like what? Boomer parents? They were based on the greatest generation to begin with. So fucking quit it right now. So we get to the Force is rotten. Han's a deadbeat drunk dad. He shows up on Jakku, finds his ship that Han Solo loses the Falcon. Okay. So he finds the Falcon and this girl and this other idiot and takes her to Takodana because he doesn't want to go back. He can't go back to the Resistance, Leia, because he's such a chicken shit. Then the Resistance shows up and he sees dipshit, mule-faced, should have been aborted bitch boy carrying the girl who no one gives a fuck about up and into a shuttle. And everyone's like this. You know, woo woo, what a movie. And then, you know, goes back, gets the resistance, goes to, it's Ilum. That's what the Star Killer Base is. It's the Jedi crystals planet, and it ends up getting destroyed because whatever. And he dies like a bitch. Just like He-Man in the first episode. Exactly fucking like He-Man. Now, they'll say it's sacrificial, but it was within the first 5 fucking minutes. Okay? And then Adam's a bitch to the rest of the show. Okay? And then He-Man dies again. They treated the character like J.J. Abrams treated Han. You know, they try to call what happened to Han a sacrifice. No, he died like a bitch and then fell off a catwalk just like Palpatine. So they gave him a villain's death. He-Man dies like a bitch. And then Tila, and then I'm going to get to what the other part of this, is he turns into a raging bridezilla, a fucking Karen on steroids. So let's talk about that. Tila is a girl, not a boy. No. She is a fully formed woman with breasts and an ass, okay, and everything else. You see her in episode 2, and she looks like a tranny with that fucking half mohawk, piece of shit haircut, dyed purple or whatever the fuck color it was. You know some? They're taking away female characters' femininity. Excuse me. Femininity. No boobs. No butt. Arms like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Flat-chested. A jaw a lantern jaw that could break granite. No one talks about it. Hollywood now hates women, the way we're built, the way we look, the way we talk, what we like, what we don't like. I don't know why. They say they hate men, but they sure as hell want to make every female character now out there act like a man, look like a man, because I don't know if they think that's how strong women are. I'm not like that. At least I don't think I am. I never said I was strong, but I mean, come on. No. Female characters, you know, I'm going to tell you something. I'm on a John Milius bent right now. If you ever, raise your hands, how many of you guys have actually seen The Wind and the Lion? Raise your hands. There's a character in there named Eden Petticaris. Eden Petticaris is played by Candice Bergen. Beautiful, feminine, tough bitch, okay? She gets kidnapped by this Moroccan Barbary pirate. And he's not really mean to her. He's played by Sean Connery, by the way. He just won't let her go. And they play chess or checkers. I can't remember. I have to watch the movie again. And it's not like I haven't seen it before. Or I've only seen it once, but they talk. She treats him like he's her equal. Okay? You know, there's conversations where in the beginning when you see her and she's talking to her British friend, talking about shooting grouse and driven grouse in Scotland. This is a woman, okay? John Milius, who is one of the most masculine filmmakers alive. He did this movie. He did The Rough Riders. He directed and wrote the first Conan. He wrote Apocalypse Now and scared the shit out of Martin Sheen. It was hysterical. Yeah, I didn't even see he did that. Dude, don't get upset by that. I've done it too. Anyway, you know, he's able to write women that are beautiful, that are strong, that are. Just a minute. I have to put him in his house. Kojak! Come on, man. Why? No! No, you can't have that. No, no, no. Bad dog. House. Come on. House! Get in there. Get in there. Go on. You're a bad dog. I can't leave you alone. You can't lay on the floor and just be. Sorry, guys. But Milius is able to write these women. They'll look like women. All right, that act like women, but have a really strong character to them. And I was never offended by the way he wrote. I mean, look at the girls in Red Dawn. He wrote and directed Red Dawn. Look at them. They're just two teenage girls and they're fucking badasses. And they didn't look like the guys. I mean, they both had the same urges that all the other women do. I mean, Leah Thompson going after Powers Booth. You know, I'm literally stunned that Hollywood, all right, they defeminized Leia. Sure, she's wearing a dress in The Last Jedi. Big deal. Big fucking hairy deal. Okay? They still, in TFA, made her look like a guy. All right? They took away any of her feminine qualities. They can sit there and argue with me, but they did. The thing about Leia is you always knew, even when she was in her snowsuit and vest, and later in ROTJ, that is a girl who, you know, knows who she is and what she is. And she doesn't want to be a guy. When you turn on The Force Awakens, she looks mean. And I don't imagine Leia growing into a mean old woman. I just don't. But they did that deliberately. Even in the dress, there's something lacking. And that's not Carrie's fault. That is not Carrie's fault. Okay? It's just the way they wrote her. All right? It's really interesting how Larry Kasdan, who wrote Empire Strikes Back after Lee Brackett died, under the supervision of George Lucas, couldn't get Leia right after all this time. These writers could not get her right. And Rian Johnson had no intention. If you ever see Rian Johnson's girlfriend, I would never say wife. Oh my God. How I'm a misogynist. She has absolutely no feminine qualities whatsoever. You know, look at Brie Larson. No feminine qualities whatsoever. None. She doesn't try to make herself look like a girl. She doesn't, I mean, you know, there's a guy on Doomcock's Facebook page bitching about, and basically trolling, bitching about how people were pissed off at the way Tila looked. And I, you know, went off on him. And I didn't say this, but I'm like, look, I'm a woman, you know, and if a girl's got it, she should flaunt it if she's single. You know, I did. All right. Nothing wrong with, you know, looking pretty, looking good, okay? Doesn't mean you're a pushover. It doesn't, okay? So I don't get any of what they're trying to do. So they get to Tila. She's got her hair up in that thing, and she looks nice. And then within the first 5 minutes, Adam croaks, a la Han Solo with a sword through the chest, and then you know. But see, looks and attitude all go the same way. They honestly think that if you act like a giant bitch, you're a strong woman. And what you are is somebody that no one wants to hang out with or do anything with because you're a fucking bitch. I mean, I hate to tell you, I hate to be the one to say, hey, it's very sad that we've come to this. But they're literally, you get her in the second episode, and she looks like a trans woman or trans man. She really does. So the problem is, or the question is, why would they do that? Why would Kevin Smith want to defeminize a woman? He's got a daughter he's obsessed with, which is kind of weird. Why? Well, that doesn't make any sense though, hard work. I honestly don't think that they understand women at all. And they're not, and the business, I mean, if you look at Kathy Kennedy, the business is completely inundated with these horrible women who, despite their success, think men hold them back. Like Kennedy. I mean, the idea that she broke any glass ceilings is pathetic because there were women that came ahead of her. Anybody ever see her in a dress? No, she's Queen Pantsuit. And they even gave her, they're gay baiting her too. Kevin Smith saying, well, no, there isn't any relationship, and yet people who've seen it are like, oh, it's like, why? It's almost like there's a pathology in Hollywood. They could, all right, let's take a woman like Claudia Schiffer. They would look at her and tear her how she is apart. She's too feminine. She's too pretty. And I'm going to tell you something. I know a lot of you guys are comic book readers. You ever Gail Simone rip on the way women are drawn in cartoons and comic books, right? You think she wakes up every morning being happy to be a woman? You think she ever had the idea of once in her life trying to physically better herself? She's a slob. What about Renfamous? What about any of these fucking cunts who attack, and they call out women like me, pick me whores? Okay, because we like men and we like to look nice. And it's like, I don't get it. They're pushing an idea for ugliness and something that goes against a woman's natural inclination. Let's talk about birds. You got a male mallard duck. He's got a green head and this flashy sort of body with blue on his wings. The female is brown and drab. But that's because she has to hide on her nest. So she has to blend in. The colors on a male duck, on a male bird, cardinals, peacocks, turkeys, are to attract a mate. Okay? Horses see a stallion, not a castrated, not a gelding, a stallion. He looks masculine. He's got that arched neck. He's got a powerful chest. His face even looks more masculine. Their faces look more masculine. Their bodies, the way their butts are made, everything. The females are feminine. They're more slender. Now I've seen some pretty butch mares in my time. But that's kind of a rare thing. Okay. Even Zenyatta, who is one of the greatest race mares of all time, she's 17.3. She's huge. She's bigger than most of the stallions. She still doesn't look like one. She doesn't look like one. And when you look at her, you're like, that's a mare. That's a big damn mare. But human beings, women are the ones that go out and get the makeup, do their hair, get the dress, get the shoes, put on all the jewelry. Why? To stand out from everybody else, to get the guys to look, okay? And my dad always said this to me: you girls are the ones that pick the guy, okay? And guys dress up when they go out to dances or whatever, to try to find a girl, but he's the one that's going to approach her. And I'm going to say this: I think a girl that approaches a guy, I don't get it. Why would you want to do that? Why? You're lowering your dignity by doing that. Now I know a lot of women go, oh, no, I'm right. I know I'm right. All right. 53 years old, I've been around the block. I know I'm right. Don't do that. Don't let people like these tell you that you shouldn't be pretty. Tell you that you shouldn't do something nice with your hair. Okay? Tell you that you shouldn't paint your nails or wear makeup or buy that outfit or those shoes. All right? And there are lots of times women actually dress just to piss off the other women. Okay? Especially if they're nice looking. When I was doing that fan stuff for that actor and we went out to meet him, I spent a lot of money on a wardrobe. All right? And when a woman is fit, when she looks good, when she's healthy, the clothes fit nice. They fit really nice and they look real good. Okay? I'm the only one in that whole crowd that ever got asked if I was a model. Think about it. They were pissed. Why? Because unlike them, I worked my ass off. All right? I was in tip-top shape. My resting heartbeat was 62 beats a minute. Not anymore. But still, I was in pretty damn good shape. You do it because it's natural for you as a woman to do it. Okay? There's a reason why kings dress their mistresses and queens in silks, but then jewelry. There's a reason why Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton would go wandering around the world buying diamonds and jewelry. All right? It's okay to look like a woman and wear what looks good on you. And if you do look good, fucking flaunt it. These people took a character that was drawn, that looked great, that I think was actually voiced by either the wife or the daughter of the guy who created He-Man. Tough chick. Lady J and Scarlet in G.I. Joe. Lady J could wear a dress. Scarlet could look good. CoverGirl, same thing. Horrible. Then let's go to the cartoon that was aimed at girls, Gem. Typical 80s. I mean, the big hair, the clothes, the loud colors, which, you know, that orange and that purple lavender. Oh, God. It was crazy. But, you know, that's how girls dressed back then, and it was fine. Now, horror of horrors, if you want to look nice. I mean, Brie Larson on a red carpet. Her toenails look like the claws on an eagle. She's not wearing any makeup, and she looks like she's dirty punchy and just got stoned. These people are atrocious. They make women atrocious. The women that like this shit are atrocious. The men who enable it are atrocious. And they don't like women. No matter how much J.J. Abrams screams, women's rights. Bullshit. Bullshit. You know, I mean, absolute fucking bullshit. And I'm going to take that to my grave. All right? They don't give two shits about women's rights. They're doing it for virtue signaling. They're doing it. I think there's a conspiracy to destroy anything masculine in this culture. But then they turn the women all into masculine, you know, masculine people. You know, it's like, what was the fucking point of this? What was the point? You know, I mean, so yeah, I mean, I had to say something. But when you're talking about He-Man, I'll go back to my original subject, and how that character's demise was what was handled. It was exactly like the demise of Han Solo. And then it was exactly like the demise of Luke Skywalker. Okay? Sorry. The comparison, the analogy works. Okay? It just does. And argue, get all academic, use big words. I really don't care. You know, and education doesn't mean you're smart. Okay? It doesn't. Because the most educated people I know are fucking morons. But anyway, I gotta go. So I'll talk to you guys later. See you around the galaxy.